If I were to ask you a question and you were to give an honest answer, I wonder what it would be. So here's the question. If you were put up for auction, how much do you think you would be worth? Welcome to the Green Fire Motivation channel. My name is Judy Owens. It is my hope that with this channel, you'll be inspired and motivated to take action and take control of your life. So back to this question. If you were put up for auction, how much do you think you would be worth? Maybe $1,000, maybe $100,000, maybe $1,000,000, maybe $10 million. To be honest, I don't know if there is a dollar amount that I could actually put on myself that would be enough. And you know why? That's because my value is limitless. And I believe that your value is limitless too. There is no specific number that someone could hit that would actually say that's the dollar amount she's worth. Because I would still argue I'm worth even more than that. No matter what dollar amount they came up with, 1,000,000, 10 million, 1,000,000,000, 1,000,000,000,000, I'm worth more than that. Why? Because my worth is not measurable. I know my worth. So that is the topic of our channel, of our session tonight. Know your worth. So I'm going to tell you guys a story. I went to the junkyard the other day. Now, as a female, I probably should have took a man with me or someone who was a lot stronger than me, of course. But under the time restraints that I had, I needed to do what I had to do. So I needed to get 4 rims for my car. Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 rims for my car. So that morning I got up and I got ready. I got my gloves because I didn't want to get my hands all messed up. I got my little, what do you call those things that you can wipe the car and clean the car with? They use them at the car shop. Got some of those. Made sure I had on comfortable shoes. Had a tire iron because I had to take the bolts off of the wheel so that I can get the wheel off and the rim and all that good stuff. Yeah. So what I did not anticipate was having to walk all the way to the back of the junkyard. And when I say to the back, it could have easily been about a quarter of a mile, if not a half a mile. And to be honest, I didn't think it was that bad until I had to lug the first 2 tires. Taking the tires take the rims off was easy because the bolts were loose. But then I had to load these tires into the wheelbarrow. And I had to take the wheelbarrow up to the front where I had to pay for the tires. So the first time I did it with the first 2 tires, I made it. But let me tell you, I was so out of breath. Anybody can identify with that. When you're out of breath, it's usually because you're out of shape. Yeah, that's me. But anyways, so after the first time, I took those first 2 tires up to the front and I was okay. I was winded and I had to take a break. So on the way back the second time, I actually ran into a gentleman who had his son with him. And I said, you know, guys, hey, look, for real, I need help. I'm tired. My feet hurt. My arms hurt from lugging these tires back and forth and whatnot. So I said, okay, can you guys help me? So the guy said, sure, we'll help you, but we got to go to the car and get some kind of tool or something they had to get. And I was like, okay, great. So I went back there. I finished taking the bolts, the lug nuts, whatever you call them. Look, I'm not a car person. The bolts that were holding the rim on. So I went ahead and took those off and put those 2 tires into the wheelbarrow, and then I wheeled the barrel out to the end of the row, because in a junkyard they have like rows and rows and rows. So just to give you an idea of how big this junkyard was, I was at row 29, and the row started at the number 1, of course. I was at row 29, so that's to give you a visual of how far back I had to actually go. So after I loaded the other 2 rims, wheels, whatever you want to call them, after I loaded those into the wheelbarrow, I took the wheelbarrow out to the aisle that leads to the front. And the gentleman came back and he was like, okay, well, my son's going to help you. And I was like, okay, cool. So the son came back and I was like, I can give you guys a little something if, just trying to say thank you for helping me out. And the father was just like, oh, well, you got to talk to him about that. Talk to my son about that because he's the one that's going to help you. And I was like, okay, cool. So I told the kid, I was like, yeah, I could give you a couple of dollars. How much would you, do you want? So he says $20. Right. And I said, what? $20 to help me lug my tires to the front? I said, now I can give you a little something, but I can't give you $20. I said, I can give you something, but I can't give you $20. To help me lug my tires to the front. And I thought about that and I said, you know what? He said $20. Wow. See, most of the time we want a deal. We want the cheapest price possible to get what we want. That's true, right? That's why we clip coupons. That's why, some people go on Wednesdays for senior citizens discounts. That's why people go to Retail Me Not so they can find coupons to save money on whatever it is that they're trying to get the cheapest price possible. So here I was standing here with this 16-year-old boy, and he's telling me that he wants $20 to take 2 tires to the front of the store. And I was just like, in my mind, I was like, this kid is tripping. $20, and it's only going to take him a good 3 minutes to take these 2 tires to the front? I said, no, buddy, I can't give you $20. I can give you something, but I can't give you $20. Well, in spite of the fact that I told him I wasn't going to give him $20, he still decided he was going to help me, which was great. Because that means that I didn't have to be winded when I got to the front of the store all over again and out of breath and out of shape. So I was like, okay. He went up there, and then I started thinking to myself, I said, man, he talking about $20. Shucks, I could have did this myself and not paid anything, right? Okay, so what I did was I started thinking, I said, you know what? I told him, I said, you know what? It's not too many people who would have said $20. You know what? And you know what? I appreciate you for that because you know what? That says that you value yourself. That says that you know your worth. That says that you know that just because you're doing someone a favor doesn't necessarily mean that you shouldn't be paid what you feel you're worth. Right. So we go back to the question that I asked earlier. If you were to be auctioned off, how much do you think a person would pay? How much do you think you're worth? What dollar amount would be enough to say, okay, I'm sold? This 16-year-old kid told me that he wanted $20 to do 3 minutes worth of work. That's what he told me. And at first I was taken back, like this kid done lost his mind. You know what? Never mind. I could do this myself. But then I thought about it as I was walking up to the front with him and I was like, you know what? That's a business mind sense right there. He's 16. 3 minutes worth of work and he wants to get paid $20. Now, I don't know about you guys, where you're at, what part of the world, what part of the country, but minimum wage is like $7.25. And some people have to work a whole hour just to get that $7.25. And here this kid is trying to get $20 in 3 minutes. Yeah, that. So if you multiply, right? Okay, so multiply $20 times 3 minutes. How many times is 3 minutes going into 60? 20. Right? Is that right? Is that right, guys? Anyways, you get my point. If he was getting paid $20 every 3 minutes, look how much money he would have. And you know what? I can't even get mad at him because he knew that his time and effort was worth something. And it was not, he wasn't valuing himself at the 1, 2, 3, or maybe $4 I was going to give him. He was valuing himself at $20. Look, if you want these muscles to get to work, you're going to have to pay me what I'm worth. And that's not even to say, because I mean, shucks, he could have asked for $30, $40, $50 for $3 worth of work. But you know, the Bible does say you have not because you ask not. A lot of times people don't get what they want because they don't ask for it. He asked for $20. Now, do you guys really think I gave him $20? Okay, so as I'm walking to the front with him, I said, well, shucks, he talking about $20. Now, this is me thinking I need help. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna need him to do. I'm gonna need him to get these wheels to these rims to the front. Then I'm gonna need him to help me load them into the car and everything. Okay. Now, mind you, when I told him I couldn't give him $20, he wasn't like, oh, never mind, I'm not gonna do it. Oh, she's not gonna give me $20, I ain't gonna help her. No, that wasn't his attitude. Matter of fact, he had a really good attitude about it. You know, he kind of snickered and laughed. He assumed I wasn't gonna give him $20, and I was adamant that I wasn't gonna give him $20 either. But he stayed the course, right? He went to the front. He waited for me to pay for it. You know, he waited for me to pull my car up to the side so he could load the tires. He loaded the tires, made sure they fit in and everything, worked it out, closed the trunk. And, you know, at that point in time, I was just like, you know what? Number one, I went to a junkyard. So, you know, I saved money on my rims, right? Of course I save money. It's a junkyard. You're not going to pay anywhere near the price that you would pay for retail or to go to a store. So I said, you know what? When I think about what this kid did, he didn't undervalue himself. He knew his worth. And he was expecting that he was going to get something close to that. And I was like, ugh. But think about this. When I started to think about the mentality that I have now and the mentality that I used to have. So when I was a consumer, I thought like a consumer, right? So I want to get the best thing I can get for the cheapest price. But sometimes you get what you pay for, right? Now, say, for example, if I had been like, oh, I can only give you $2. He might have walked into the front. Do you think he would have stayed around to help me load the stuff in the car? Wait for me to pay for it and everything? Probably not. Get what you pay for, right? I didn't tell him how much I was going to give him, but I just said I couldn't give him $20. He didn't say, well, how much are you going to give me? He just started loading up the stuff and started moving. Okay, cool. So when I got out to the end and I was just like, you know what? I just saved money on these tires. This kid asked me to give him $20 for his help. Do I really think that he did enough to get $20? Now, anybody that knows me, I'm really big on customer service. And even though we were both customers at the junkyard, the transaction that me and him had was a separate business transaction altogether. His customer service was on point. When I go to restaurants, if you give really good customer service, I will tip you really well. Because I feel like that's the way it should be. This kid was 16 years old. I told him I couldn't give him $20. He still helped me anyway. He was patient. He had a conversation with me as we walk into the front. He waited patiently while I stood in line to pay for my stuff. He waited patiently while I backed my car up so he could put the rims in the trunk. He wasn't angry. He didn't have an attitude. He had a smile on his face. He had good conversation. And he helped me. So the answer to your question, yes, I gave him the $20. You know why? Because he made it worth my while. He made it worth my while. He knew his worth. He said, you know what? I'm going to give her good customer service. And to be honest, I don't know if this is what he was thinking, but my perception was, I'm going to give her the best customer service possible. To me, he was working for that $20, and I said as much. When I gave him that $20 bill, I said, you know what? You earned this $20 bill. Here, go ahead and take it. And he had the biggest smile on his face. And I was happy that I was able to give it to him because, like I said, customer service means a lot to me. And because he knew his worth, he didn't undervalue himself. He knew that he was doing a tremendous service to me. And he felt like he deserved the $20. And you know what? To be honest, by the end of all of that transaction that went from taking maybe 3 minutes to about 10 to 15 minutes, he was patient through all that. Oh, yeah. He definitely earned that $20. Okay, so my Green Fire Motivation people, the point of this channel is for you to take action and take control of your life, right? Okay. So in taking action and taking control of your life, one of the things that you need to know is your worth. Know your worth. What is it worth to you to change these 3 things in your life that you have written on your paper match? What is it worth to you to be able to leave an inheritance for your children's children? What is it worth to you to be able to leave a house to pass along from generation to generation? What is it worth to you to be able to pay someone else's light bill because they can't pay it? What is it worth to you to be able to have a clean house, get someone else to do it, and thereby making jobs? What is it worth to you to be able to wake up in the morning with peace? What is it worth? And when I talked about this whole auctioning yourself off, I'm not talking about auctioning yourself off as in slavery. No, I'm talking about what do you value yourself as? What dollar amount would you put on yourself? And to be honest, if you set a dollar amount, I need you to take it back. I need you to take it back. Because any dollar amount that you put on yourself, you're undervaluing yourself. You are worth more. You are worth more. It doesn't matter what dollar amount you put down. I don't care how many zeros. I don't care how many decimals. I don't care how many exponents. I don't care how many infinity signs you put in it. You're still worth more. You need to know your worth. Don't let other people's opinion of you devalue what you feel you're worth. Don't let that mistake that you made yesterday or last week or last month or last year keep you from feeling like you can't reach your goals, like you can't reach your dreams. That was yesterday. Shake the dust off your shoulders, shake the dust off your feet, and keep it moving. Green fire motivation. Green means go. If you want to change something in your life, if you want to be somebody, if you want to go somewhere, you better wake up and pay attention. You better know your worth. Your worth is limitless. Your worth is limitless. Just think about that for a second. Think about it. Think about what you're thinking about. If you know your worth, you know you love yourself. If you know your worth, you know that it doesn't matter what gets in your way. You're going to do what you got to do to change these 3 things. That paper match that you wrote out is as real as you want it to be. And if you know your worth, then that means that you know that these 3 things need to change immediately. You know that these 3 things need to change right now. Look, guys, this is real talk. No music, no trying to psych you out. This is just real talk. If you don't know your worth, who will? If you don't know your worth, who will? There is no dollar amount. There is no dollar amount. You have limitless potential. You have limitless potential. Green fire motivation. Green means go. Turn your motivational flame green, and it'll stay evergreen and it'll burn all the time. You'll always keep moving. You'll always keep progressing. Change your mind, change your life, guys. It's Green Fire Motivation. I'm out.